Welcome to the third hot heist movie in our Forest Film Festival, The Sting, from 1973, directed by George Roy Hill and starring Robert Redford and Paul Newman. This, too, is a robbery movie, classified as a comedy thriller. But this time the mark is not a bank, but a New York gangster, Doyle Lonergan, played by Robert Shaw, who will be the victim of an elaborate con game that will cost him over $500,000. Hill had directed Redford and Newman in their first pairing in 1969's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and he knew a good twosome when he saw one, first hiring Redford to play Johnny Hooker, and then Newman to play the veteran flim-flam artist Henry Gondorff for The Sting. David S. Ward wrote the screenplay, which was inspired by a real-life con perpetrated by two brothers, Fred and Charlie Gondorff, whose story had been told in David Morrer's book, The Big Con, The Story of the Confidence Men. The title refers to the moment when a con artist finishes the play and takes the mark's money, known as the sting. The film is set in Chicago in 1936 and is divided into segments announced by title cards drawn by artist Jerry Geber with lettering and illustrations in the style of the Saturday Evening Post. Hill and his art director decided on a prevailing color scheme of brown and maroon tones, which pervade the scenery. The music was written by Marvin Hamlish, who adopted several ragtime pieces by Scott Joplin, notably The Entertainer, resulting in a delightful score which was released as a soundtrack album and earned Hamlish an Oscar for his work. The popularity of Hamlish's score contributed to a renaissance of Joplin's music in the culture of the mid-1970s. Edith Head, a distinguished costume designer of the period, designed the costumes for the film, winning her 8th and final Academy Award for costume design. The film won 5 additional Academy Awards, including Best Director for Hill, Best Screenplay for Ward, and Best Picture. It was a huge blockbuster, earning $159.6 million on a budget of $5.5 million, and was the highest grossing film of 1974. Paul Newman trained at the Yale School of Drama, and like other actors we have already encountered in this series, at the Actors Studio in New York with the distinguished Lee Strasberg. He made his Broadway debut in William Inge's Picnic in 1953, but his big break came in his movie role in Somebody Up There Likes Me in 1956. Over the course of his career, he had 10 Academy Award nominations, winning an Oscar for Best Actor, a BAFTA, a Screen Actors Guild Award, an Emmy, the Jean Hirschhold Humanitarian Award, and the Kennedy Center's Honors Medal, and numerous others. Over the course of his lifetime, he gave over $500 million to charity through profits from the sale of his food products under the label Newman's Own. Robert Redford studied acting at the American Academy of Dramatic Art, making his Broadway debut in Tall Story, 1959, followed by his TV debut in The Twilight Zone in 1960. His greatest success on Broadway came in Neil Simon's Barefoot in the Park, 1963. Co-starring with Newman and Butch Cassidy in The Sundance Kid in 1969 made Redford a bankable star, and their second appearance together in The Sting remains today the greatest hit of Redford's career, for which he received an Oscar nomination for Best Actor. He went on to a formidable career as a director, directing, among others, Ordinary People, 1980, which won 4 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Actor. Although he never won the Best Actor Oscar himself, he did receive the Lifetime Achievement Award and many other honors, including the National Medal of Honor of Arts in 1996, following the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Obama in 2016, and he collected a slew of honorary degrees. Redford's crowning achievement was the founding of the Sundance Institute and the Sundance Festival, which promote independent films worldwide. Plot summary. After rookie grifter Johnny Hooker, Robert Redford, tracks down veteran film plan man Henry Gondorff, Paul Newman, in 1930s Chicago. The twosome plan to fleece a New York racketeer named Doyle Lonergan, Robert Shaw. They recruit a large number of accomplices in an empty, derelict office space to help convince Lonergan to place a huge bet. The whole thing is a scam involving a string of double and triple crosses. Fun facts about the film. Charles Durning, who plays a police officer in next week's film, Dog Day Afternoon, also plays a policeman here. Robert Shaw, who plays Lonergan in today's film, had a brief cameo as a lab tech in last week's film, The Lavender Hill Mob, 1951. Ward, the screenwriter, discovered an early script for the movie in a slush pile while working for a talent agent named Mike Medavoy. Had to convince Medavoy that the script was gold and could make a great commercially successful film. Medavoy sold the script quickly to Universal Studios and later went on to become head of Orion Pictures. The role of Gondorff was originally written as a smaller part for a short, obese man. When Newman entered the cast, Ward had to rewrite it. Robert Shaw's character, Doyle Lonergan, limps in the film. The limp was authentic because he had torn several ligaments in his knee after slipping on a wet handball court just before filming began. He was actually wearing a brace under his wide-leg 30s-style trousers. The crew used a couple of interesting locations. The carousel was in Santa Monica, and the train station scenes were shot in Chicago's Union and LaSalle Street stations. Tony Bill, one of the producers, who was an antique car buff, rounded up the old cars used in the film, selected his own one-of-a-kind 1935 Pierce Arrow as Lonergan's private car. Hill used a 30s-era Universal Studios logo at the beginning of the movie to set the tone. Redford and Newman were paid $500,000 each for their work, which was the highest salary going at the time. Things to look for. Universal Studios logo. Robert Shaw's limp. The maroon and brown tone color scheme. Edith Head's costumes, wide ties, slinky 30s dresses, particularly on Eileen Brennan. The Saturday Evening Post-style cards, which introduce each segment. Pictures of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And listen for Hamlish's marvelous music and see if you don't start tapping your foot and singing along yourself. And now, here is the sting. Have a snack and enjoy. And please remember, the film may be slightly delayed. Be patient, hang in, and it will roll in.